Hello, my lovers. So, today we are talking about three main types of people who date inmates and why. Welcome back to my channel, Kara's Love Techniques. I am Coach Kara, and so we're going to sort of talk about this topic because, let's face it, people, there are many types of relationships, and yeah, this just happens to be one. So, let's get started, shall we? So first I want to cover the inmates and what I've observed. So I've been watching the TV show Love After Lockup for the past 2 or 3 seasons now, as an observation to see what these sorts of situationships or relationships entails and the type of people who date inmates and vice versa. So, what I have concluded in my assessment is that with the inmates, listen, guys, these are the most interesting creatures. When I say they all have similar mindsets and the same sort of mentality, it is downright uncanny. Like all of them, they are all highly intelligent, master of manipulators. They know exactly what they want. They have high esteem. They know their worth. They even have high standards and demands. And it's pretty intriguing because one would think that someone who commits crimes, they kind of live life, on lower levels. Listen, loves, that is not all true from what I have assessed. These people have very high standards. And when they get out, whomever they choose to be with, and yes, they have many suitors, I mean many suitors. Whomever they choose to be with, they want them to be like so, whatever they've envisioned. And for many of these people, it's kind of like a fantasy until it gets to the end of their sentence, and then it's not, it becomes reality. And so they kind of have to really show who they truly are, and they do, people. When I say the prison system has completely changed from what I've heard, long ago, it has. They actually have access to apps. Some of them even have their own merch to where civilians or people of interest can purchase. Like, it's crazy, guys. There are a plethora of dating prison apps. And what do they actually think about people, those who pursue them? Well, I can kind of assume that they don't think that they are the brightest or the most intelligent, maybe even too trusting type people, ones who lack esteem or something is amiss with them. And because of that, it just allowed them, as the typical criminal, to take advantage of that. All right, so they seize the opportunity, so to speak. Again, they have many interests. It's crazy, guys. So now let's talk about the three main types of people who find interest in dating an inmate. So one in particular, you just have the one person who has maybe had some relationship fails and has not been successful in that department, and so they decided to take another avenue, something that is more detached and interesting. You can live out a fantasy, you can create it however you want, you can have as many interests as you want at any given time, and because of that, it's like a constant dopamine high. Like, they never stop getting attention, if not from a couple, but from several. So just think, all day long, they're receiving live chats, messages, letters. There's just like a plethora of everything. And it makes them feel valued and sought after. They gain the attention that has always been needed, regardless if it's, genuine or not. And so this is their way of saying, hey, I'm still wanted. Someone needs me. They need me more than I need them. And of course, they send money. Some of these inmates make a great deal of money. Like, their income is crazy. Yes. So that's one typical inmate or person of interest that is out there. I mean, they have multiple apps that they're seeing these people on. Like this one girl, for instance, she's a mortician on the show. You know, maybe her life is dead in the daytime, but at night, I mean, she is live chatting. It's just crazy. She's living out their fantasies. And she's been doing this for so long until one day she decided to, take her friend up on an offer of meeting this guy, and they went on a date. And she was so uncomfortable and so out of place with actually being with someone who wasn't, a bad looking guy as far as humans go. He has a career, well articulated, he's well spoken. And, she couldn't open up as she did with the inmates when they would call in or do a live chat. It was just completely different. Now, I'm not going to say the night didn't end on a better note, because the way the energy was going, I think that's all that was given. But some of these people, they get so accustomed to just that way of communicating with the individual, so they don't even know how to act or just simply be themselves in real life. Yeah. All right, so that's one type of individual. The second, which is a bit more serious, and this individual may possibly have hyperbistophilia. Whatever, I'll put it up there so you can see it. Anyways, it's a sort of fascination or even obsession with criminals, infamous criminals, at that, better known as the Bonnie and Clyde type syndrome, which I don't wholeheartedly agree with, because with Bonnie, her situation was a little different. Living in a small town and being in love with this guy who decides to one day just to hit up a bank and in her hometown. Now, granted, at this point, it was already at the point of no return. She was with them, so she couldn't go back home. You understand? So she kind of found herself stuck, to say the least. So that's kind of how that went. But no, these women, they are enthralled with this type of being. And the reason is, well, there are many. Some had troubled childhoods where there was a lot of abuse, or may even needed like a motherly or father type figure, someone who was strong and bold and brave, something like that. Or maybe even just feeling sorry for them, because prisoners are typically troubled people who has allowed their demons to overpower their judgment and just kind of like take over. And they may actually feel sorry for them. Many of them have had very traumatic childhoods. Like Ted Bundy came from a very disturbing background. Hell, even Adolf Hitler, many people don't know that he was severely abused and taunted as a child. Okay, and because of knowing that, I think they have just that human compassion and empathy for them. So again, it could be for other reasons as well, or they could just simply think they're hot and it's a preference. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Now, and and they actually fall in love with these people to the point to where they want to marry them. Like even Ted Bundy, hell, he got married while he was in prison. Like he was facing death. He got married. So this is how serious this sort of obsession can become. It's like they overlook any heinous crime that was committed and literally follow their heart. Yeah. Okay. And so lastly, a third type of interest would be, well, just the more common type relationship where you were involved with someone and they got caught up. Now they're locked up. And the reason why they stay with this individual is not really due to love. It's more so loyalty. Loyalty is very big. It's because now that they're on the outside, they have to really prove that they were dedicated to this individual and love them. And many of them, they get caught up in that mentality, regardless of how long it is. Take for instance, one girl on the show had been dating a guy before he went in, and he was actually locked up for 13 years. Now, she did have one little entanglement along the way in which she confesses. But for the most part, she's been ride or die, sending money and all, 13 years. And then, last week on the show, he gets out. She moves to his city, purchased a brand new 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. He gets out. He comes and checks out the apartment, sees the stove, asks if she cooking. She was like, yeah. He said, well, why didn't you, clean up the stove? And it kind of offended her. And so that went back and forth. One thing led to another. Minutes later, he's on the phone calling his other boo, whomever, I don't know, guy or girl, to come get him. And so, 13 years later and 48 hours, she was standing alone in a brand new empty apartment. So guys, I'm not sure what this week is going to entail, but listen, you have to be careful who you're loyal to. People are ever changing, all right? And where that loyalty lies, you have to be certain that it will be reciprocated once they are released. Because, you could be you could be setting a trap for yourself. And hopefully that won't be the outcome of the situation. I actually think he can come back, but I think he's still going to be an asshole. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to share that with you all. If you are in this sort of relationship, and if you are wanting more information about dating, like one-on-one relationships, I actually have an older video, and I'll post that in the info card somewhere for you to click on, and you can check out that video. It's more in depth about actually being in a relationship with someone who is currently incarcerated. Okay? All right. So guys, hopefully this has been quite informative for you. I thank you for joining me always, and that is all for now. Until next time.